Everybody, Jerome Wright here, and once again you're joining me on my Jerome Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. In this video I'm going to be doing some ancient maps of the US. This map here I believe is the 1829 I believe or 1839 map of the US. And hold on for 1 minute, let me get some notes here. Wrote down some notes so I can cover bases on everything that I want to discuss about these maps. You know, for seemingly forever, scholars and everyone have been trying to figure out why the geographical boundary lines of the US, of the map, were so misshapen in some areas, and then in other areas they seem to be uniform and conformed of each other. However, when you get over here, here's Florida down here, and there's New York up here, and other divided states here. When you get in this in these areas over here, these geographical lines which separate the boundary lines of these states seem to be odd. Well, I'm drawn to certain things, paranormal things, which, I mean, if it's different, I'm drawn to it. I mean, and if there's a reason and a rhyme behind why it was created, meaning dealing with our ancestry, and ancient knowledge related there to our ancestry, I actually am drawn to it, and I can undo or decode the hidden messages behind certain things which were created to hide these hidden messages. All right. Now, our ancestors always had this hidden knowledge, or this ancient knowledge. It wasn't really hidden, we just didn't know about it. This ancient knowledge where everything that was created, which could either be seen above or referenced in ancient anything, it was always something that had to do with art. It had to do with art forms, anything to do with sculptings and carvings, anything that was related to that of mankind. It always could be read through in a way and in a sense, and be understood through the designs by which it was created. Here we have a map, this 1839 or 1829 map, and again, scholars have for many years been trying to figure out, what do this stands for? Why are these lands divided and cut the way they are? What is the symbolic message behind it all? Well, I've discovered that in this section here, generally here, I don't know if you can see, yeah, right in through here, that there are multidimensional images which the land divides actually create. It creates full figure people, beings, and there's a hidden message behind here. And when I get done, hopefully it'll make sense to you. All right. What can I start off with here? All right. Hidden in here, there's a figure of, I believe to be there, an Indian person, a squaw, a Greek, either a Greek or Roman soldier, and then there is a child, which is over here by New York. There's a child here. Down here where they said that, you know, when they said that the foot, or the jug of Florida, they said that Florida is a foot sticking out. Well, this is actually a foot to a person, to a full figure person. Florida is. Remember they said that, I think I heard at some point they said Florida is a foot. Well, if you come here, here's a head. Now I don't have where we at up in here. I don't know if that's Iowa. I don't know if Iowa's over here or whatever. But I don't know if that's Iowa or whatever. We'll get back to that. But there's a head. Okay, and then the lakes around that, I think it's Lake Superior and all of them that are around there, creates the hair, and it creates a squall, a face of a squall right here. I don't know if you can see that, like right here. Here's a face right in here. This would be her breast area, and There's the squaw multicolored skirt. This from up by New York area, coming back around through by Texas and going towards Mexico here, is an entire skirt right here. And this is the leg. The leg is the squaw's leg is down here, which is the handle of Florida. And then her other foot, which is kicked up, which actually is like a baby booty, okay, or a squaw's moccasin, is all up here by New York. Now, it's crazy because the squaw's leg, okay, her skirt is kicked up. This is her skirt all down through here. It stretches from Florida all the way up to New York and Connecticut. The squaw's foot is actually dubbed as the head and body of a baby as well. So it's almost as if this squaw is kicking her own baby out. But it gets better than that, because in this same multidimensional image, there is the image of a Roman soldier, which has his arm extended out, and the Roman soldier is shown that through the body of this Indian squaw woman, the Greeks or the Romans actually genetically altered these babies, which derive from these squaw women. Now, keep in mind that Indians are indigenous of America. They are people that have actually thrived in America before the French and all of these other people came in. Pioneers came in from different locations and actually ran these people out of their own environments. So here's a hidden message that states that genetically, now hold on, before I start talking about genes and genetics, you have the Greeks and the Romans, which are backed by, which are Greeks and Romans, which are royalty. They're pretty much nothing but more than royal families, royal soldiers, and royal guards. All of this is dealing with, you're talking about royalty. Royalty, and then ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. Now, again, let's go back and do some research, because I'm going to go into talking about genes and genetics. So these people always, their number one thing was longevity, to live forever. And then the next thing was that they protected their bloodlines. Ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. It was all about the bloodlines. Ancient rooted religion protected their bloodlines through celibacy, meaning that they're supposed to be not having sex and all that. This is how they preserve themselves. But then and again, I'm telling you that there's this great ancient conspiracy where ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty are designed in one. Behind the curtains, behind the scenes, there is this genetic, let's say, cult practice, which calls for genetic manipulation, creation of miracle babies, and where the ancient rooted royalists are able to come into these ancient Catholic monasteries, these ancient Greek monasteries, and impregnate these virgin nuns and make these so-called miracle babies through these concoctions of genes that are created. Now, this is something that I'm not going to get sidetracked, because now I'm going off the topic of what I want to talk about, these maps. But anyway, this is all about genes and genetics, and I'm telling you what is going on. Now, again, look at the peoples or places that these people invaded. I'm talking about ancient Romans, ancient Greeks, and then going to these people that actually branched out into British, Swedish, and all of that of today, of our modern times. But they all derive from ancient rooted royalties and religions, which derive from these Greeks and these Romans. They go out and invade all of these places, and what do? They genetically alter them. It is happening today in Africa. It is happening in the Middle East. It is happening everywhere. Look at the occupation of Africa by Germany, by Great Britain, by these different locations. And what I'm telling you is that they stayed there. Normally, they're in India. And normally the occupation is normally for what? Generally, about 100 years. 100 years. You know why? Because this is how long it takes for them to genetically alter the civilization, the entire masses of the civilization of people that is there. Now, what am I driving at? Well, look at these civilizations of the people where these people occupied, these ancient rooted Christianic groups, religious groups, and ancient rooted royal groups, where these people survive. What happens? The culture groups of the people, their skin pigmentation, their genetic being is actually changed. Where these people were once dark in color, you see that there is this washing, this wash down of their skin tone, of their hair. There's this mix that becomes in their hair. Their eyes start to change. There is a genetic breakdown in the entire culture group. For example, look at Africa. Africa is not Africa no more. Africans are not Africans no more. They are actually being genetically evolving from their own blackness. Again, look at Indians here in America and how they changed. Indians are not Indians anymore. Where they had their own specific color, they're dark in color, they are getting lighter. You can't get a being to change its genetic origins, a breakdown in its own chemistry, in its bloodline, unless there was some type of genetic manipulation or altering. Now, I'm going to keep going because, in all of these locations, here you have the U.S. Now, because I'm going to go into showing you this Greek soldier and everything, or this Roman soldier that is actually detailed in here. I got some drawings. I'm going to keep on going. So, but before I do that, everywhere in every popular city in the U.S., not just the U.S., I'm not just in every city, it's also in the cemeteries, all of the monumental buildings are all Greek and Roman style. All the mausoleums in the U.S., the buildings, the post offices, all the governmental buildings have this Greek or Roman appearance to them. Now, I have other videos out about this Greek and Roman thing, about these buildings, about them being dimensional doorways, which I'm going to do a better video when I get a chance. But I'm saving that. I'm saving some things. I can't put all of my stuff out there. But however, so what I'm about ready to show you next should not seem like it's a cartoon or seem like it's unbelievable about what I've discovered about the U.S. maps and about how, look, and notably how this is showing us a picture glyph in our U.S. map about what is going on and how the invaders of the U.S. actually went in there purposefully and they left a record behind to show how through Greek and Roman intervention into the U.S. the Indians, the indigenous people of those lands were actually changed, genetically altered. All right, now, and it shows you that America is actually donning a royal bloodline. Now, listen, before I go into that and say that again, let me tell you something else about this blood and this bloodline thing. This little girl, she actually took and did this research, and she found that I think it was 40 or 42 U.S. presidents all had this connection, this royal connection to one certain king, which was abroad. So 42 or 44 U.S. presidents, including Barack Obama, which is now the seated president, all were genetically linked to a king, a royal family, a royal king outside of the U.S. So this thing about this bloodline is to be taken very serious. Then you have this Chinese, or I think it's Chinese, this Genghis Khan character, which his DNA can be found in, like what they say, 19 to 20% of our world's population, his DNA can be found in. People, how the hell do you think this is happening? This is all about genes and genetics. So again, they're showing you What areas that they contaminate? This is talking about you're talking about a global mass contamination of cell restructuring in people's genetic being. And this is what this is all about. This is what religion is all about. This is under the guise of religion, a global mass contamination is occurring. Under the guise of royalty and religion, a mass global contamination is occurring. Now, I'm going to go into another picture here. Let me see, which way am I going to go? We can go either way. Why can I go either way? Why can I go either way? Let's go this way. Previous. All right. Here's the previous picture. Let me go to this previous picture. Remember I said that there's an Indian squall here? If you look in here, there's the chin, there's the mouth, there's the nose, these Great Lakes, Lake Superior, there's a head tie. This creates hair. Here's the busty area up in here, down through the chest area, almost looks like she's pregnant here, or had a baby. Here's her squall dress here. This is a standing position. Then it shows her squall being offered off. There's a hand here, and then there is a childlike figure, a little figure, which will later show in a tuxedo right here. That's showing being handed off. And in fact, this little creature almost has like a dinosaur head. Now, I wish I could draw that now, but you can see that this creature has almost like a dinosaur's head here, which actually goes up into New York and Connecticut, showing you genes being offered out. And again, I'm going to go into a Roman soldier, okay? And I'm going to put more of this on a slideshow, because it's going to be, I don't know if it's hard for you to see these pictures or not, but I want to show you something else, because it actually gets better than that. So let me go forward again. Now this is an ancient map, but I'm gonna bring us into a current map and show you more pictures. All right. Again, here's some different colorings here. Notice here how it almost creates like wings off to the side. Okay, here's almost like a wings. Here's the child figure here, up by New York and Connecticut area when her hair is coming out. I gave the squaw her eye. You see it there? She has her eye, and this is like her headband, and almost like she has wings here. Then there's around the Indian Territory. There's like this ghostly figure right here that comes out, okay? And it almost looks like a being with a horn here, and it has a mouth. And then the great deserts, I think it says the Great American Deserts, in this 1839 or 1829 map figure, it has a two-headed penis, which creates the desert, and the other end of the penis is going at this guy's mouth that is shown here again, and then here going out to the state of Texas, the other end, showing you a genetic bridge between the Indian Territory and the Texas Territory based on everything that this is implying right here in this section about this genetic altering, showing you how America is this melting pot of these genetics. Now you're saying, well, why would a two-headed penis be there? Well, people, it is always our ancestors, through their ancestry and interpretation, has always used the penis or the pineal gland to describe genetic change, genetic altering. Not sexuality, but through the pineal gland comes this life, life altering changes. And this is what this is all about. But hold on, because this is here, it gets a little bit more deeper than that, because I'm going to come into some new maps. I'm using this older map to take you into newer maps and other descriptions of what I'm detailing here. All right, here's a newer map right here. Now I took it, I edited it, I used an eraser, and I'm glad that it has I can see the states now. I used the eraser to erase through to show you the borderlines of this being here, this Roman soldier figure. This is a Roman soldier figure. Would be eye. His head is Michigan, and his torso area. Okay, hold on. His helmet and all of that is through Wisconsin and Minnesota. Is his helmet here? His head is up. He's like he's looking up. Now check this out. His arm is Pennsylvania, And on his arm is this baby figure that I was telling you about in a tuxedo, which the squall is actually handing her baby off. But you have here where this Roman soldier is morphing through all of these states. Hold on, let me name these states out: Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, a part of Mississippi and Georgia, and then Florida is the leg of this guy, and the guy's leg is bent back through Louisiana and Mississippi. So you have the same Greek Roman soldier figure, which is holding this being up, showing you that it's boosting this. Oh, by the way, the being that is holding up, its head is Maine. Around his chin area is New Hampshire, and then it has his collar and his body around Vermont, and then his butt is New York. That's his butt area, and his it looks like what it is a penile gland or a penis coming off this guy, and that's just it's actually a part of New York, the foot of New York there. But it crosses the sign of Connecticut, passes through it, and then New Jersey is his thigh, and then Delaware is his foot. A foot. So if you look at this for what it truly is, you see that there is symmetry, which creates legible body figures in all of these states that I've just mentioned from there on back, and it shows you a rhyme and a reason for why these states are actually shaped the way they are, and where these states seem to be configured and uniform in a sensible and reasonable boundary line configuration, these are not. And I'm telling you that there is a dimensional message which symbolizes why they are not. Now, the later maps, the newer maps, shows us these figures. But if you go back into the ancient maps, it even gives you a better detailed picture of what is actually happening and what is being described. It's the same thing that I found to be with the Pereira-Rice, the 1540 Pereira-Rice map and other ancient maps, which date the Pereira-Rice map is on gazelle skin, and other ancient maps which go back in time. If you look at them, you see these depictions of animals, you see depictions of people's heads, and it is describing this global contamination. It is a record of how these contaminations took place and what is being described. And these people, these people that are in the practice of doing this and know about this ancient rooted secret about who we truly are and how we truly genetically became into existence, they take this information and incorporate it into different maps and different records which describe. The Bible has it, yes, ancient, all our Renaissance art has it, and it's in the depictions of everything that is ancient regarding royalty and religion. It's in our sculptures. It is all around us. You just never knew what it was, so you couldn't associate or identify with it. But there has always been a call into question about the shapes of certain states and the cluster of why some states were actually shaped the way they were. Who called for them to be shaped the way they were, and why were the boundary lines shaped the way? How was this land divided the way it was? And this is what this was all about. Let me keep going. Again, we have Florida as the foot, Louisiana as the left foot, Louisiana. I scratch my screen here. No, that's a piece there. Louisiana and Mississippi is this soldier's right foot bent back up. I mean, Louisiana and Mississippi is bent back up. Okay, here's Florida is the outward foot. Reminds me of that guy. Left foot down? Remember that left foot down? FTD, left foot down figure, or that winged being coming in with this left foot down. That's what this is all symbolic of. It shows you something similar to that. And then you have this guy. What is more compelling is this little guy sitting here, which through Maine, New Hampshire, all of New York State area here, you see a person is sitting right there being offered up as it's being handed up, like a child being held up. in the air and being offered to the gods. And that's what this is like, a Greek or a Roman soldier offering another being up to the gods. And this is what this entire scenario is here. Now hold it though, because it gets better, because this same soldier now is a squaw standing in the same position, and then a squaw holding her legs up, showing you that she's kicking this baby out of her body. Now hold on, because I'm going to keep going. Hold on, let me keep going. I might have to put more writing. Now why is that so? Okay, there it is unedited. And let me see what else we got here. Okay, there you go. Here is another image. Now, this is another image. I think this is like on the fourth image that I'm telling you. This again is that United States map turned upwards. The squaw morphs the Greek, the Roman soldier. Also, the squaw morphs this image, showing you that the intervention of the Greek, the Romans soldiers, or the bloodlines of these beings, of those civilizations of people, ancient civilizations, shows how there was a new bloodline created. And lo and behold, I highlighted this. This is all land masses, people. I did not deviate from none of the lines. It shows us in this map, okay, on how that through the colonization of this Greek Roman bloodline, there was a new colony of beings created, and it's showing you there is a little girl in a colonial suit and a colonial dress and wear. Look, with her leg kicked up. This is her right leg down. This is her left leg kicked up where that baby was here. Here's her arm out, and there's her headwear. These are all lines. Look, a little girl, and these states down here all creates the ruffle on her dress. Precisely given configuration to these land masses, the way the lands are divided, creates her hand, creates her dress, creates her leg kicked up, creates her hat with a bow tie around it, and creates her face right there. Look at this. Even has a waist bow tie tied around. I don't know. I can't see what state that is. I don't know what that state says there. I'm not. All right, but the writing is actually too small for me to actually see, to be totally honest with you. And but anyway, to make a long story short, look at how a perfect picture, and I swear to you that I did not exaggerate none of the lines. All of these lines are precisely on boundary lines of these states that create this image. And this is like the fifth image that this creates, and it all tells us the same story of how the Greek or Roman soldiers came in, or their bloodlines came in, these ancient rooted royal bloodlines came in to America, changed America, and kicked out the genes that were there, showing us through the body of the squaw that these genes was kicked out, and it's showing us what was changed and what was altered, and then what was created. And this is one of the created bloodlines, and it's showing us this. You know that America is known for the colonizing of America and the babies in those colonial style dresses. And here we have it, a colonial style little girl dressed in the colonial style dress, which was created through all of these states, and it governs all of this area. And look at her leg kicked up. Again, I'm going to put these images on my Google Plus and my Facebook page. I want to show you something else. All right, here's a newer United States. This is actually a kid's map of it, and again, you can see the same exact thing here. Look at this. The same exact thing. Look at Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina. It creates the ruffles in the dress. North Carolina, Virginia, okay. Kentucky is the waist, her waist, and Tennessee is the actual band line that goes around her waist. Okay. Ohio and Indiana is in the chest area. Again, it actually creates the Roman soldier. Illinois being the Well, you have the little girl and you have the Roman soldier. Illinois is creating the armor wear of the soldier. These you can. What's also the ruffles of the little girl's dress is also that flask of the Roman soldier. I have a picture of a Roman soldier. I'm gonna bring up, and I'm gonna show you how this is identically matched to the breastplates and the armor wear of a Roman soldier, and of what a Roman soldier actually looks like. So you have that squaw, which is there. You have a colonial style little girl in colonial dress wear. Then you have a squaw offering up her baby. Then you have a Roman soldier actually offering up the baby with his, look like his arm is held up with a sword behind his back, showing you that it's splicing out those genes. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I'm gonna keep going. People. There's like 3 or 4 entire different scenarios which tell the same one story. I'm gonna show you something else. Here, this is interesting. This map here is a political chart, and it's called the Tapeworm Party. It's about the Republican. It's supposed to be a cartoon that was in a newspaper, and I find this to be very interesting. All right, because I'm saying that all of everything that is dealing with anything ancient is talking about genetics. You know, it's crazy because it has the tail of this creature. There's a snake. It's the tapeworm party. So this is a tapeworm. So it has part of the tapeworm down in Florida, and then it has all of these areas looking like black areas down up in here, through black areas. All right, and down here it says no acres. It don't say no 40 acres. It just says no acres. So really, what it's saying no acres, no 40 acres and a mule, because it has a black guy pulling his mule. So it's saying no 40 acres and a mule. All right, but it don't say that. It just says no acres, but it has a black boy down there. I don't know if you can see him right there, pulling the mule. Again, I'll put these images on my Google Plus. Then the next thing about this is the other end of that tapeworm comes up. It comes around and it comes from down to Florida. It goes around all of these different states, comes around and comes back this way, and then comes up to this guy. Now it doesn't. There's a man here. It doesn't have the man. Check this out. It doesn't show the man's mouth is open. He's a bearded man. It has his mouth open, but the tapeworm actually stops right around here by his collar. What's amazing about this is that where I've described this as being a child right here, and where the penis part was right here coming out down this area, down by in Connecticut area and up in here, it shows this wave of a mountain that looks like white genes coming in, and it's going directly into the guy's mouth. Look right here. There would be child right there through those states that were created. That little gland coming off, which would be a part of, I think it's New York coming off. Is it New York? I believe it's New York. A part of New York coming off down here, which comes into like a form of penis. It shows a wave of it going off, going up, and into this guy's open mouth. So everything that I'm describing to you about this map representing genes. We all know that a tapeworm represents genes. We all know that when you open your mouth up and you see something going into a mouth, it means consumption. And then it has a scale of weights and balance showing you that people being offered in sacrifice over here on the scales of justice in a sacrificial like way. People, believe me when I tell you that this is everything reminiscent. You can understand this. This is an illustrated political chart, and it's a cartoon of American politics and the tapeworm party, meaning the Republicans. I mean, when you go into thinking about this, why would anybody make this map? Or why would this even? And then the description of what I'm just giving to this map, to the ancient map, it all begins to start to make sense when you start thinking about these ancient rooted societies. I'm talking about like the skull and bones, and then these up in this area, you're talking about these the schools and stuff that they went to. Connecticut universities and all of this stuff. I mean, all of this stuff starts to make sense and come into play once you start realizing that this ancient map of US has this symbolization to it, which has a darker side. All right, and that's what this is up here for. Now, I have to go into another mail, open up another mail. So I'm gonna see about opening that mail open real quick and go into another Let me go to my inbox. And we have to go to, I think, is it here? Or no, I have to go to the next one. I have to go to the next one. Alright, we're gonna go. Okay, we got 17 attachments. Alright, let me get up into these attachments. Alright, this soldier figure. Now this is a newer version of what this soldier actually looks like. But this is the idea of where I'm going with this soldier figure, which appears over there in the U.S. in those states areas that I'm telling you. This soldier figure appears in a similarity to what I'm describing. That soldier figure on the U.S. map, on the ancient maps, is morphing what I'm describing. It's a squall. Again, this is a modern day squall, but the image of the squall with the feathers, this headband around the hair, and all of the hair, and these in the map of the U.S. These here are Mother's Lake Superior, and the other Great Lake that we have there. Her hair is in all of this here. The body of her water creates the squall's hair, and then there's the band, and then there's the feathers, which are actually created in the ancient map, which I'm going to actually show you. But what's amazing about this is that the image of not this woman, but a likeness of a squall is morphing that of a Greek soldier, which I have actually just showed you. And I think I have some more. I'm going to keep going. Which is amazing, and I'm going to go back. I'm just want to bring these up to show you. So what I'm showing you here is I'm telling you that in this area is an image of a squaw offering up her child and to the gods on this map. Do I have the whole map in here? To the gods on this map. And the reason why this is all occurring is because it's showing you in likeness is another morphing image, is a Greek or Roman soldier, which calls for this to happen. And through the genetic change of the intervention of these Greek and Roman soldiers, it's describing these royal bloodline. It's describing how there was a genetic altering of the indigenous people of this land, which was the Indians, and it showed you how they were changed via the genetic manipulation imposed upon them by Greek and Romans. That's what this is actually showing us. Now, I'm going to keep going. What else do we have here? Again, I'm going to paint that picture in your head. Here's a squaw holding her, I don't know if you call them a papoose or whatever. But you notice that the skirting, the clothing that they wear, this colorful clothing, it is a dead-on, spot-on match of that with these maps and these states. Once you actually take and color in the states, it's it reminds me of like you do those color glyphs, cryptic coloring pages where it tells you 1, 2, and 3. You color in the colors. Once you color in the colors of the of our map, or our U.S. map of the land masses, it starts to create images. A picture. Again, I wanted to show you another. Notice how she's holding this baby. This is closer yet to the. Notice how she's holding this baby and this little carriage thing that she has. Notice how the baby is all wrapped up. Look at this picture, how the baby has all of this stuff wrapped around it. Because keep this picture in your mind. Look at this Indian baby. This is unusual how this baby is all bundled up. Look at this. Baby all bundled up here. Look at this. Because this is almost identical, almost like a worm. Now I'm going to take you to something. I'm going to take you to that picture. Where we at? Because that's the same picture that is actually here. Here's another image of the what you call them here. Again, here's that little character here, and I have another picture of it colored in. I'm gonna bring to you. But here's that Roman soldier here. There, and it's also a woman with her leg kicked up in the air, which is this woman is also. You have a Roman soldier. Then you have a woman that was with her leg kicked up, okay, which is a little girl wearing like a colony dress or colony and a bonnet and all of that stuff on her head. And then you have the squaw, which is offering up her child, and then you have also the Roman soldier, which is offering up a child. So this and all of these images just in this one. All right. So let me keep going. Let me see what else I have. I know I have other things highlighted here. All right. I have this image up here because here you might be able to see it with me. Is that where that Roman soldier is in this picture right here, and this one here. This is another ancient map. You can almost see the Roman soldier with his hand held back in this image, with his striking what appears to be what he's offering up. I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Offering up what he is slaying the child that is actually identified as this as a child. So imagine this being a child. You ever see a person holding up a chicken or something that is going to slay? You hold it up here. There's this being here. There's the head of this being here, which almost looks like a bird. And then there's a torso. And then this right hand is up as if he's slaying it. The right hand is slaying what's being held in the left hand. And I'm telling you that this is a child. Right here, all up in the state of New York. Now I'm going to show you something else. Because that figure almost becomes like a tuxedo wearing figure. Let me see where we're at. Again, there's it. I'm bringing you to the Roman Greek soldier figure. Keep going. Again, there's the Roman Greek figure. That's what I'm trying to tell you is there. Sending them, driving that message home. Okay, here. Look. Look at this. Look closely. I got Roman Greek god soldier figure offering up a tuxedo figure. Okay, look at this. Almost like the penguin in Batman. Look at this. Again, Delaware is the foot. New Jersey is the leg. Here's New York is the butt of it. And then there's this little thing that comes off of New York in the front, and it looks like a penis in the front of this little creature. Look at that. I'm going to bring this in closer so you can see this. Because this is serious here, and anybody that knows your maps and knows what is going on about a hidden secret about all of it. All right, there you go, right there. So you can see that I didn't deviate from no lines. All right, Maine is the head. I put a little eye there and little lips to give you an idea. Okay, Maine is the head. New Hampshire is the neck. Vermont is the back area. It almost looks like a little guy in a tuxedo. New York is there, and then New York has a piece coming out that looks like a penis in the front. Okay, Connecticut is right there in the button up front. Connecticut is the stomach. Okay, and New York comes around and wraps around like if it has a penis coming out of it. Okay, the little tail on, and then there's a tail back here. It looks like a little person in a tuxedo right here, like a little fat penguin in a tuxedo. Now check this out, because it gets better than that. Because New Jersey is the leg. And then Delaware is the foot. Right there. Now, what is also crazy about all of this is that, remember when I told you have this, the Pennsylvania is the arm of the soldier. The soldier offering his child out. And there's Ohio and Michigan. All of this here creates the body of the soldier. And I have it all highlighted for you to see. With Florida being the leg, Louisiana and I think Mississippi being the bent back part of the other leg, and then this being all of those, you know, the slats that hang down off the Roman soldier's clothing, which I just showed you just then. This is all creates a Roman soldier. Now you can't hardly see, you can't see the Indian and all of that up in here. However, you can see the little girl's legs kicked up, and you can show all of this in one here, and it's showing you a genetic change. It's showing you that one former baby was kicked out, and a new former baby was created. Now I have this turned up this way to show you that, again, if you look in here, I have this turned up. This is another ancient, going back to that first ancient map. You start to see where the Great Lakes were and the Superior Lakes and all that, where there are heads created in the water. it's showing you that something was changed, and it's describing this change. Look, there's a head here, the face of a female, and then the lake creates her hair right here. Now, if you turn it back the other way, it becomes, you should see like this Mayan Indian-like woman right here. And I swear there's her face, her nose, and her hair. And almost like she has these dreads and braids all in her hair. And it's showing you that from this woman came this woman through the genetic change. It's showing you how this altering came. It's almost like they took a woman and they genetically altered her. And I'm gonna and you have to see this to believe it, because as I'm sitting here describing it, all of this different, these things are coming into my head because it's showing me this thing. I can read this map pretty much, and it's for sense of what it is. It's describing genes and genetic change of the people that was already existing, and who were they changed by? The people that came in and changed them, and they are the people that foolishly made this map and did all of this detail, which describes what happened and what occurred. It's like a bragging thing. It's almost like a monumental what happened. It's you know what I mean. And besides all of the monuments that was left behind in each one of these locations. Again, if you want to think that this all sounds foolish, it's 46. I'm going to have to end this in a minute. You may think that this all sounds foolish, but each one of these locations have those Greek and Roman style buildings, or those neo-Gothic buildings, which come from the people that I'm describing, which are over not just in the US but globally. If you go to any major city where these people occupy, they have their shrines, which are these Greek, Roman style, and neo-Gothic style buildings in each and every one of these locations. So obviously, if they're saturating your lands with this cult stuff, then surely you would have to understand that they're behind the rhymes and the reason and the guises of having these land masses cut out. So they take their land configurations and also they cut and carve up the lands and divide them and put them into these symbolic scenarios, which also describe the work that they have done. They saturate it, and I mean, it's all this cult related thing, which is related to this to this blood and this semen thing, where there's this genetic change, and they're showing you what was done in this record that was changed. Yeah, it's their way of marking. It's like the mark of the devil, and that's what this is all about. And again, you have another figure here showing you again all of this change. If you look at this now, you could see pretty much bodies in these land masses. I'm probably gonna have to end this here because I done went on for an hour. This is going to be my first almost hour video in a long time. Again, I have highlights here. You'll have to go on and what else do we have here? Okay, again, there's the squall-like figure there. Here creates the head. The Great Lakes up here creates her hair. Okay, there's no way, people, that you can take this. I done gave you about 3 or 4 bodies here. I gave you the child up here. I gave you the Roman soldier. I gave you the little girl with her leg kicked up, and I gave you a squall. How in the world do you get where this is a perfect image of a squall, people, and the hair creates? I mean, and her hair is created by these lakes, by these Great Lakes. Come on, people. The neck, everything. You know what I mean? The breast area, all of this. Everything that I described is right here. How in the world do you get that? I mean, you can't do it and then come back with the perfect scenario of why it all exists. You know, you just can't do it. It's far beyond coincidence that I can do this. And then you have to look at my other 500 plus videos to see why I even arrive at this. And then you say, well, you know, he's on point with his other videos. I mean, and nobody else has ever figured this out. So how can I do this? All right. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get you out of here now. All right, there's that little show. All right. Again, I want to leave you with that there. I'll put a little bit more writing. I don't know if you can see these pictures real good. But again, look at your maps of these locations, and you will see that there is an offering up of a being. Okay. Right there, has a hand. Not only this soldier has an arm and a hand holding this guy up to the gods right here, But there's also this creature that has a head and all that, all in New York here. I mean, you can't hold nothing. I mean, holding up a baby like so. I got my hands cupped up, holding up this child. And it's all Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. All of them include to make the body of this child or this being being held up by once a Roman soldier, Greek soldier figure. And then an Indian squaw offering up her child to the gods. Come on, I mean, through the help of, I mean, this is morphine. The Roman soldier is morphine, the squaw woman. And then all in that, it shows you that through that offering became a colonization of these new genes. And it shows you this Caucasian girl or a girl, which is, she's got her leg kicked up and she's in colony clothes and colonial clothing. So you have all of these images and my description describing how this was done. And then now I'm going to take you on my last thing going out. Then you have all of these civilizations of people that used to belong here. There are cities, there are ancient cities here all across in vast areas all throughout America and Mexico where they're supposedly suddenly disappeared. But it goes deeper than that because I have evidence and can show evidence where there was ancient civilizations of people that inhabited these locations way before anything that we even have on record. So you have to see my other videos. Everything that is on record it stops at a point where long before that there was other ancient civilizations of peoples. People that is not even in history, including in history. The peoples that done this, that contaminated America, destroyed America, everything that America once actually stood for, because it wasn't America before. Whatever this land was before, it was destroyed. And I'm going to tell you something, that ancient blacks were here before they were there. Before any other people were, ancient blacks were there, and there's a history of it. I'm telling you something, people, that we have been had. We've been had big time. See my other videos. My name is Jerome Wright. I'm going to end it there. Perhaps I could put more in writing. All right, but I'm going to end this video there.